What's up guys, welcome back. Today we have a brand new video and today we are going to be talking about 5 things I wish I knew earlier. So if you're seeing something strange with the video, it's because I'm recording from another phone which has a larger storage capacity compared to the other one, which allows me to take just one take and edit out everything that I don't like, or to make longer videos in general. So tell me if you like how this looks, and if you don't, please tell me in the comments below. So going back to the video, basically especially if you're an intermediate lifter, you can relate to the fact that when we start, we are very naive and we tend to fall easily on a lot of traps and a lot of mistakes. And I myself have made a lot of mistakes when I first started. Actually, the time I spent following bad advice and falling for traps was longer than the time that I have been training, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I got more results in less time following the right advice. And I'm going to give you that right advice today, that good advice today. And because I want you to avoid those pitfalls that I fell into and lead you to a better physique in a shorter amount of time without having to go through all the trials and tribulations to realize what you actually have to do to gain muscle and to not fall for any type of scams, because I have fallen for a lot of scams, not in terms of money but in terms of results and my time, and time is money, so it's technically money. So yeah, today we're going to point out a couple of mistakes that I made, the most important ones, and it's going to work as a wake-up call for all of you guys that are probably following the wrong people. So the first one is going to be not eating in a surplus. So dude, every single time I record a video there's a fucking motorbike, right? So the first one, not eating in a surplus. So when I first started, I actually started doing things right. I was eating just enough, I was working out, I was getting muscle, I was pretty happy. People were telling me, hey, you're getting jacked, and I was like, oh yeah, thank you. So everything was going fine until I committed the great mistake of joining YouTube Fitness, and that fucked me up hard time. So I basically got body dysmorphia, I got an eating disorder, and I got no results, the worst of the worst. And it took me from 2020 to 2022 to get my shit together, and thanks to the rings, our lords and saviors, I managed to build a very decent physique, if I say so myself. So I wanted to tell you that to avoid all of these problems, basically if you want to gain muscle, you have to gain some body fat. My problem was I jumped into YouTube Fitness because I wanted to look for a way of gaining muscle faster and without getting any body fat, because I used to be a obese kid, right, and I lost a lot of weight, and I was afraid that if I started to bulk, I was going to get obese again. I know it's something very dumb if you say it out loud, but it was an irrational fear that I had back then. And on top of that, I was 15 years old, so you can imagine that I wasn't very sharp. I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, right? So I basically started looking for that answer to gaining muscle without getting body fat and to gain the optimal amount of muscle. And sounds like man gaining, doesn't it? You can realize that YouTube Fitness is always the same. So I spent 3 years doing crazy diets. I started with intermittent fasting, then I moved on to 1 meal a day. That 1 meal a day, on top of that, I did keto. Then I transitioned to carnivore, OMAD, 1 meal a day. And then I started throwing some fasting here and there. And I can safely say that type of crazy diets probably caused a huge problem in terms of my growth and my development, and I don't want you to go through the same thing. So what I'm going to tell you is, don't be a fucking idiot, bulk, eat in a surplus, eat enough, eat what your family cooks, cook a little bit more for yourself, eat, okay? Don't try to bullshit your way around muscle growth. You have to eat if you want to gain muscle. You have to gain some body fat if you want to gain muscle. Are you going to lose your abs? Probably, maybe not, because if you train your abs and you gain enough muscle in that area, it's probably going to look better than if you were leaner, because you're going to have more muscle mass in general. If you wanted a bigger bicep, you wouldn't tell anyone, hey, no, just starve yourself and get to 5% body fat so you can get your biceps to really show striations. You wouldn't do that, right? You would just do bicep curls, get your biceps bigger, right? The same goes with your abs. Train your abs, eat enough, and don't try to bullshit your way around things. Eat from all food groups. Eat three square meals a day, and if you're struggling to eat a lot of food, eat 5. Okay, so that's what I'm going to tell you, and that's going to save you a lot of time, contrary to me. The second point is for fitness influencers. If they are trying to sell you something, especially supplements, stop listening. Don't listen to snake oil salesmen, okay? So I myself, I never bought supplements or coaching plans, even less cookbooks, thanks to the third world, which basically doesn't give you enough money to eat, let alone to buy bullshit like that. And thank God. So even though I wasn't buying any of that shit, I still became a fanboy of the wrong people. So I started following Ryan Humeson, Athlean X, Frank Tufano, Thomas DeLauer, Dr. Eric Berg, and people like that, which were giving me basically awful advice. It even hurts a little bit to say that I was following those guys. I have a lot of resentment in my heart for those guys. So I was following them because I was very naive, and I thought that, hey, these guys, even though they sell stuff, they probably just want to get good information and make a living out of that because they're very passionate about the topic, as I am. No, wrong. Terribly wrong. So basically, this is something that if you're like a very honest and very a person with integrity, it won't come across your head. But once you get scammed, you realize that most people just want to make a buck. They don't care about the thing they're selling you. So keep in mind that for this type of people, information is not going to be the priority. What usually happens is that these salesmen think of a gimmick or a market opportunity / a niche, a small problem or a small issue that they will blow out of proportion. For example, you have vegans which attribute a lot of carbon emissions to meat and stuff like that, saying basically that the whole climate thing is responsible only for the meat production section, which is total bullshit. It's mainly planes and cars and stuff like that, but they'll grab that small area of like, yeah, meat produces this amount of carbon emissions, and they will blow it out of proportion. You can also see that with the optimal training gurus, for example, that they will find some small issue with an exercise and they'll tell you, no, this is terrible. How can this exercise have this issue? I'm going to propose this different exercise because I'm so much smarter and I have the secret to gains. This small problem is the key to why you're not gaining muscle, stuff like that. They think first about those kind of things, the gimmick, the niche, and the issue they can blow out of proportion first. Then they look for evidence and build their narrative. So information is not the priority. Knowledge is not the priority. Getting you to believe it's knowledge that leads to you buying the supplements, it's the priority. So I'm going to detail a couple of psychological strategies that they will usually employ, how they build this kind of stuff. And it's going to allow you to recognize when you should get the fuck out of a community or stop following a fitness influencer. So the first thing is going to be fear of missing out. I spelled it incorrectly. It's FOMO, the acronym, but I wrote it MOFO. So that's dyslexia kicking in. So fear of missing out. They will usually tell you, right, that there's a huge difference between taking the supplement or not, or following the coaching plan or not. Basically, consuming the product or not. That's the first step. They'll tell you, for example, oh yeah, because of this issue that I have built upon my narrative, right? Like, for example, vegetables have like a lot of, a lot of anti-nutrients, right? That are going to chelate to the nutrients. It's going to make nutrients less bioavailable. Then they will tell you that you're missing out on a lot of important nutrients that you can get from animal sources if you avoid plant sources. What should you do? you should eat this type of meat that is either grass-fed or it's a part of the meat that no one wants to eat, but conveniently I have a supplement that is that specific nutrient that that specific part has, and it's going to change your life, right? That's usually what they do. The same goes with self-improvement gurus. For example, they'll tell you, oh yeah, do this specific morning routine and your life is going to change, or get me to coach you for a month, right, and do my challenge, and your life is going to turn around and you're going to become a super successful CEO. And if you don't, you're going to basically die. That's usually how they portray stuff. Then from the fear of missing out, they build the transformation thing, the metamorphosis kind of thing. They'll usually have like a couple of clients that they have helped, and they'll usually like exaggerate a lot to get your money. Like, let's say it's a weight loss transformation. They'll say that they lost a lot of weight, they have a lot of mental clarity, they're healthier than they have ever been, they're gaining a lot of muscle at an accelerated rate, and that's all because of your coaching or the supplements, right? And that's going to relate to the fear of missing out, because you're like, oh, this dude got it, it's probably true, I don't want to miss on that supplement, right? And then we have a lot of people that start to gather around that specific product because they have that fear of missing out. Once this community forms, an authority pops up, or usually a couple of guys that basically choose what is good and what is bad for the community, right? It's usually the guy that's selling the product, although there are a couple of guys that make it up there, right, in the pyramid scheme, and they will basically spew the same thing that the owner of the product is spewing. And they'll usually push an enemy, a common enemy. For example, we have the carnivores with the vegans, and vice versa. We have the optimal gurus with the whole meathead kind of crew, and stuff like that. They'll usually push for an enemy so you can focus more on fighting the other guys instead of realizing the flaws within your own community. And if you realize about the flaws of your own community, there comes censorship, because if you point out issues with the community, they will tell you, or issues with the whole product or the thing that they're built upon, the community is built upon, they'll get shit for it, and they'll get flagged as the enemy because you're attacking their identity, their group, right, their tribe. And also, because they're already cemented as a community, cognitive dissonance kicks in, and whenever they see evidence that doesn't support their own agenda, they will basically try to rationalize their way out of it, and usually leads to conspiracies. For example, we have the carnivores with big broccoli financing studies to say that vegetables are good. Then we have the vegans saying that the dairy and the egg industry is doing the exact same thing. And then you have the self-improvement gurus, which will tell you that society wants to keep you weak and easy to control and stuff, and you have to become a Sigma top G male to escape the matrix and bullshit like that. So you can see how those things apply to real life. Then to the third point, we have calisthenics are goated. So I used to despise calisthenics before. I did everything in my power to avoid them because I thought it was for weak guys. And I made a great mistake, of course, because I couldn't even do 10 push-ups, and I would do dumb shit like doing bench press and supersetting it with cable crossovers, as Daddy Calisthenics told us to do back then in 2019. Then, thanks to God, obstacles are usually opportunities. The pandemic hit, and I was forced to basically work with calisthenics. 90% of what you see right now, the biceps, the triceps, the chest, the shoulders, it's 90% calisthenics. My sheet of paper fell off. I built it mainly on calisthenics and 10% of bands, and now I'm starting the gym. But I spent 2 years working with just rings and basically half a year with bands. So it's kind of crazy, you know? The thing with calisthenics is that they remove paralysis by analysis, they keep things simple, and it forces you to get stronger and smarter. So when you go to a gym, think of all the implements you have. You have dumbbells, barbells, you have just plates, you have bands, you have cables, you have machines. Where do you start? What the fuck do you do? What is the difference between doing a machine and then a barbell, or dumbbells and then a barbell, or barbell and a machine? You don't know what to do, right? You're confused. How do I progress? Do I add weight? Do I add reps? Do I change the exercise? Do I focus on the mind muscle connection and bullshit like that? Calisthenics keeps it simple. If you're at home with just a pull-up bar and you're doing push-ups at home, what is the answer? You got 20 push-ups. Next time you're going to do 21. Next time 22. The next time 23. And if you get strong enough, you're going to elevate your feet, and then you start over, and then you do decline diamond push-ups, and then you do pseudo planche push-ups, and keeps it very simple. You get strong enough, then you move on to a variation. It teaches you basically evolving rep ranges without telling you outright, because it keeps it so simple. When you first start off, all of this works, and as you get more experience, it shrinks until you find the things that only work for you optimally. But when you first start off, you have this whole thing. Is it really worth it to focus on small things like the fiber of your lats and the rotation of this and that? No, it's easy to just do push-ups, do pull-ups, do what works and has been working since the Greeks, the ancient Greeks. So yeah, calisthenics keeps it simple and forces you to basically progress in a smart way, naturally. It's also going to develop your physique in a very aesthetic way, because it's going to develop the right areas. Sorry for those that want big legs, but the upper body is way more important. You're also going to get a lot of body weight gains in the legs with just when you first start off, and it's going to give you again a very aesthetic physique. Also, once you get experience enough, if you don't want to step in the gym yet, you have rings. I actually train my chest and my pull-ups. I do them just body weight with rings, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. And I also train my biceps with rings. I make a mix of rings and dumbbells and cables, but I still use rings for my biceps because they're that good. You can also use them for triceps and for shoulders. Ring face pulls are goated. So rings are very versatile. They're going to allow you to develop your upper body amazingly, I would say even optimally, except for some specific muscle groups like the upper back and the triceps and the neck. But you can also get bands, which I would highly recommend for you to train your neck and your triceps, and a little bit more of upper back. Fuck, my sheet of paper fell off. So that's the thing for calisthenics. Then we move on to the fourth point, which is focus on progressing. I spent those 3 years barely progressing. I could have gotten basically an amazing physique, and I'm being very honest, I'm very open about it. I could have gotten this physique at 16 or 17, but because I was a fucking idiot, I'm looking for the answer, right? Not Allen Iverson, but the answer in terms of the key to muscle growth, right? Because I was looking for that, that basically held me back and got me 0 results. Focus just on getting good technique and maintaining training variables to a minimum, keeping everything as constant as possible, range of motion, RPE, stuff like that. Try to keep everything constant and just focus on progressing, getting better over time. And with diet, it's the same. Don't focus too much on diet. Just slightly better your diet every single day, and you're going to get great results. And this is related. The last point is don't rush it. Have fucking patience. Rushing for results is going to lead to you looking for the answer, right? And basically, in looking for the answer, you're going to fall into the traps of the salesman, into the snake oil salesman, into the cults, and it's absolutely stupid. Also, for some people, they don't end up falling for influencers, they end up falling for steroids, which are going to lead you to an early death. And I don't think you want that. So don't take fucking steroids, don't be a fucking idiot, train like a natural, eat well, sleep well, and you're going to get the results that you want. Be patient. It took me 3 years to get my shit together, and it may be the same for you. If you're a dumbass like I am, or you're very stubborn like I am, you probably are watching this and you're like, oh, this guy's full of bullshit, he doesn't know what he talks about, his camera quality is shit, therefore what he says is wrong. So you're going to go and look for I don't know, a Ryan Hubison video telling you that you can get huge biceps by curling your leg, right? Calisthenics, not Ryan Hubison. And you're going to end up looking like shit from here to 3 years from today. And then you're going to one day wake up and be like, he was actually right. What a fucking idiot am I? And you're going to DM me and tell me how right I was. And I'm going to be expecting that DM. So, don't rush it. Be patient. Wait for your results. They're going to come, but you have to wait for it. You have to earn it. Sacrifice, dedication, and patience will get you there. And as the last thing I want to say, you can find in the link in the description for my novice viewers. I have a gift for you. As you can see, I have a lot of free programs in the link in the description, but I have uploaded a new one, which is a program pack of 3 programs. 2 you can do in the gym, and 1 is for the home gym. Download that PDF, choose one of the programs, and follow it to a T. Do what I said in this video, and you're going to get fucking jacked. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching.